this next couple of slides is really about initial impressions versus lasting impressions. So first, get there on time. There is no excuse that's worthy for being late for an interview. It is an absolute job killer. Wake up early, check the weather report, check the traffic reports, get there an hour early and sit there and have a coffee. Whatever you need to do, get there on time. Second, look the part. And this is a place where your research can really come in handy. Most companies, it's advisable to wear a business suit for the guys wearing a tie, that sort of thing. But you never know. Some cultures are a lot more relaxed, and you might be overdressed when you're walking in. If there's any way you can research that, or maybe talk to somebody who works there to ask them what would be acceptable for an interview. But if push comes to shove and you're not sure, the formal business suit is always the way to go. Next, shake it. Don't flake it. Shake my hand. There is nothing more, no more of a turnoff for a recruitment manager than a wimpy handshake. I've experienced it. All it says about you is that you're not confident. Look me in the eyes as well. That's what you're trying to project. You're not trying to break my hand. You're just trying to give me a firm handshake and look me in the eye. It really projects your confidence. Next, identify the style of your interviewer. And I'm going to talk about that in depth a little bit later. Ask questions. Believe me, there's no surefire way to lose a job opportunity than if I ask you, do you have any questions for me? And you say, no, I think that's just about it. The reality is, a standard interview is about an hour long. And there's no possible way I can cover every single question or every eventuality in that hour. You must have questions. Questions can come out of your research into that company, but I'm also going to provide you in a little bit some standard generic questions that you can ask in any interview situation in any company. And it'll show that you've really thought about it. It'll even put them on their toes a little bit. It's really important that you ask questions. The follow-up email. Always follow up with a thank you email. Typically try and do it within the same day. Now if your interview is late in the day, maybe the first thing the next morning. You don't have to rush out of the interview and pick up your phone and send an email, but please try and do that as soon as you can. And it doesn't have to be a book. Just a couple of sentences. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. Really appreciated it. Really enjoyed our conversation and looking forward to hearing from you. Short and sweet. That's all it needs to be, but it is standard operating procedure. It is professional etiquette, and you should do it. Make sure, though, that you ask for their business cards before you leave, otherwise you might not know how to contact them. Lastly, ask for feedback. If they call you and give you the bad news and say you're not getting the job, ask them why. Not in a defensive way, but ask them specifically, is there any feedback that you can give me on my job interview performance? You need to ask that for a couple of reasons. First, it really shows that you're a true professional. And so they may consider you for another job later on. But second of all, it could be some really worthwhile advice, something that you can use in your next job interview situation.